Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I'm your other host, Ashley Erling.
Hey, Ash.
Hey. So hard to believe, but you actually have yet another birthday.
Yet another birthday in the McClelland
Are you
house.
guys just like birthdays like all the time?
Yes.
Or are they spread out or are they clumped together more? Because obviously everyone, I think by now knows you have a lot of children.
I have a lot of children.
Big family.
It's funny, I have no winter birthdays, but we have like fall, spring, and summer birthdays.
Yeah.
So yeah, no winter. I guess we kind of just, no December birthdays, no January, but every other time of the year, yes, we have birthdays going on. So yeah, my son Henry turned 17 today, which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
And I always say with Henry, I'm like,
youngest boy, right?
I was just gonna say, I'm like, you're my youngest boy, you're my baby boy. I still call him that, and even though he's like so much taller than me now, but yeah, Henry turned 17 today, and we were talking about it last night. That like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, this is like the greatest age, Henry. I'm like, 'cause as soon as you become an adult, and even in college, the responsibilities shift. I said, you're going to get out of college and like job opportunities are coming up. I'm like, right now, while you're 17, enjoy this time, because really when you stop and think about it, he feels like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, I'm sure. Right. But like, as we know as adults, he doesn't.
Right. Looking back on that time in your life and you think of, where you were and what you were doing going into summer and like having a summer job and like all of that. It's like you look back on that your whole life and think, it's really fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
So we were like, just having some fun this morning as we were kind of like reminiscing about Henry's 17th birthday. And I thought it'd be fun to go back when we were 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you did this. So you printed these out for us.
I printed these out. I did not look at the sheet that I gave Ashley. I did just like copy, paste, print. So we're going to totally age ourselves right now. But I was 17 in 1995.
And I was in 2000.
In 2000.
Or at least close to it, because I can't do math.
We were trying to do fast math.
I'm pretty sure it was 2000.
What do we say? We know 20% off $100.
That's it.
50 off
there's
100.
There's a sale. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. So I'm going to start with you, because I actually thought these were really fun.
Okay.
So in the year 2000, when Ashley was 17 years old, these were some of the hottest things. Okay. Low-rise jeans.
Okay, yep.
Thank God they're not in anymore.
This is when it started to be that early 2000s.
Yes.
And all the pop, like Britney Spears.
Yes.
And Christina Aguilera and Sync and all that.
Oh my God, Christina Aguilera with her tiny little jeans.
Yeah.
Trucker hats.
Okay.
You a trucker hat girl?
Yeah. Well, because everybody, remember, like, Paris Hilton was wearing
That's
them.
right. Because the next thing was tracksuits velour because of Paris Hilton.
Yep.
That was another big thing.
Simple Life and everything, they were wearing them.
Oh my God, I remember those platform shoes.
Yeah.
I
feel like always kind of, shoes to me are like always
really
going.
Right. No, absolutely. Baby tees from Contempo Casual.
Yeah, Contempo Casual or
and
like
Express.
Remember what was that sort? There was like a Delia's in the mall.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Delia's.
They would have like the little cute
like,
sayings on the t-shirts.
Yes. Oh, we are going back. Furry coats.
Okay.
We had a furry coat. As far as music, the boy bands were hot. It was Backstreet Boys and Westlife.
NSYNC. Come on.
And it's funny, NSYNC wasn't on this list.
Well, they're wrong.
And then pop music was Britney Spears was a global phenomenon, and MTV was a major influence on fashion. And then TRL, that's right, Carson Daly. Flip phones.
Yeah, I had one.
Did you have one? The emergence of Google.
Oh,
believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
And then I love this one because my husband used to do this, and we were dating at this time. Frosted tips on men.
On men. Yeah. Yep.
That was color his hair
with a little cap.
The cap, and I used to do, and I'm like, oh my God, he looks so handsome.
I didn't highlight it like you did. You were better than I did. But this was when you were 17.
Yes.
Okay, some of the big things. The fashion was grunge, like flannel shirts.
Yes, that's right.
Jeans,
yep.
combat
boots. Out of high school. Yeah.
And then minimalism, which was like the slip dresses.
I love the slip dresses.
Monochromatic outfits. Less is more.
Less is more.
It said mom jeans. Is that true?
I don't know if there was mom jeans.
Yeah.
I mean, like boyfriend jeans.
Yeah, they said boot cut jeans.
Okay.
Casual wear was more of like a trend. Like things became more casual.
More casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when it came to pop culture, this is a good one. This is a good one. The Macarena.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was at every dance.
Of course, everyone remembers.
Oh my gosh.
You know what's so funny? I actually saw a young kid at a soccer game doing the Macarena a couple weeks ago. I was like, they still know that.
They still how to do that.
The popular TV shows, Seinfeld and Friends, of course.
Love them.
Right?
Love it.
Those are two still great shows. Movies, Toy Story.
Wow. Okay. I was a little bit older at that point. So
Apollo 13.
Okay.
Well, that's when Pocahontas came out as well.
Yeah.
Music,
It was the music.
Spice Girls.
Oh my God, Spice Girls.
I remember like running home and like trying to watch music videos and always wanted
we all wanted to be
Girls.
them.
And then hairstyles.
What was it?
The Rachel.
The Rachel. I did the Rachel. I'm gonna have to show you a picture.
I loved it. I don't
butchered it on
you.
me.
I was gonna say there's no way.
It looked horrific.
There's no way you liked that.
It looked horrific.
There's no way you liked that.
No.
So that was fun.
That was cool.
When we were
in honor of Henry. We were 17. We went back, Ash, for a little bit.
Happy birthday, Henry. Enjoy it.
Oh, well, we have a great show for you today. We have a special guest coming up who Ashley and I have known for years, and we love her. And she is truly Miss Rhode Island. She knows so much, so we're excited to have her on. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. So I wasn't kidding about our next guest. She quite literally is, just Miss Rhode Island. You know everything there is to know about Rhode Island. We have Kristen Adamo, President and CEO of Go Providence. And Kristen, honestly, when there is anything Rhode Island, I mean, we were just chatting before we came back on, like, hey, what's going on? Anything, and you always are like, have so much knowledge and love for really the city and Rhode Island. So thanks for being here with us
thank
this
you
morning.
for having me. I think I deserve a tiara if I'm going to be Miss Rhode Island.
I will get one for you.
I mean, it can be rhinestones. It doesn't have to be diamonds. It's fine. But
I will find one.
You.
She's doable without it. She's doable without it.
I love Providence. I love the state. I grew up here. I moved away for a little bit and came back. And I think that's kind of important sometimes.
Yeah.
Is like you see other places and you're like, they're not as good as Rhode Island.
They aren't.
So I'm really lucky to have the job I do.
I think that, I've known you for a really long time and have worked with you for a really long time. But I think that like the average person might not understand what it is that you and Go Providence do. Can you explain it to us so we understand?
You're 100% right, because basically the work we do is to get people to come into Rhode Island. So all the work we're doing is outside of the state. So people are like, what is that? I don't understand.
Right.
So I always kind of start big. We run the Rhode Island Sports Commission, so we book all sorts of sporting events into Rhode Island. So March Madness we worked on. We're starting to work on the World Cup with our partners at Gillette and Meet Boston. We have USA Gymnastics in this weekend, which is an Olympic qualifier. So we do that, and then we book meetings and conventions. And so that can be anything from like Comic-Con, which everyone knows, or these like scientific societies, nursing societies. And those two things bring in about 270 events a year.
Wow.
And that means about $100 million in direct spend into the state of Rhode Island. And then on top of that, we do Providence's leisure. So we're the people behind Providence Restaurant Weeks. We just did a massive culinary festival that you all know about in March, and we do the marketing. I just hosted an event in New York for 30 Travel Media with Mayor Smiley, talking about how great Providence is. We had the chefs from Track 15.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah, we do a little bit of everything, trying to get people to come here. We call it heads in beds.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you want people to stay in hotel rooms. You got to get heads in beds, because that's hotel tax money that then we all benefit from.
I love that. So. I mean, let me ask you this. You obviously love Rhode Island. You love the city. Is every day a different day for you than for work?
Yes.
Is any day the same? I mean, it seems like so exciting.
It's also like exhausting. So lately I've been like on weekends, I'm like, I just want to sit with my dogs and like that's a crime show. But no, it's actually no day is the same.
Yeah.
Because you're always doing something to promote the city and the state, and there's always different stuff going on.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, you can have a schedule. It doesn't mean you're going to get to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but it's always fun, and I have a great team. I have 30 people.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that there were that many people that were working in your office.
A lot of it is the sales staff. So sales is a person-to-person business. So we have like 8 people that go out on the road and just book meetings and conventions by meeting with planners, going to trade shows, meeting with clients the year before that are coming in the next year to make sure that they're all set.
Right.
So we have a lot of people.
Do you prefer your staff to be from Rhode Island, or
that's a great question. For the most part, yes.
Okay.
There's certain jobs I think you have to be a Rhode Islander to do, like PR. So working with the press and travel journalists, I think it comes across more authentically,
right?
If you're from Rhode Island, or working our social media, there's a lot of destinations that'll farm it out and have a company do it,
right?
And we do it because we wanted to have a voice, so that it's people who live here and people who love it and might find quirky little things that someone else.
I was going to say Rhode Island is so quirky, and it's. difficult unless you've at least been here for a while.
Yeah,
to know the nuance.
Yeah, it's either you lived here, you grew up here, or you went to college here. Because people who stayed after, like you,
Same.
right? You know where to find. You know where to find a pizza strip. I don't need to teach you about pizza strips.
But it did take me a while to learn. I remember thinking when people would talk about Rhode Island, who were here in this building, 'cause I've always worked here, and they would be like, foods or just certain sayings, and I always thought like that's so like I've never heard that before. I don't know what that is. I'm only from Connecticut. I'm not from,
You're not
somewhere
from California.
far away.
I went to college in Ohio. The first week I asked for the bubbler, and they called me bubbler for like 3 weeks after that, and I was like, I don't know what I did.
I don't know.
Well, there are things. Even my husband and I started ordering grinders. He's from Pittsburgh.
I always said grinder.
But he didn't know. He says hoagie.
Oh, is that what you say here, hoagie?
No, in Pittsburgh they say hoagies, and they say pop for soda.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even for him getting used to just like being so close to the ocean, he's like, I don't think you understand what kind of like of a perk this is. Because we would have to drive because we had rivers, but we never had beach. Because going to a beach would be a true vacation.
And that's the beauty of Rhode Island, right? I was telling you all, I was driving to Bristol last night, and I was going over the Mount Hope Bridge, and I just looked to my right, and I was like, how lucky.
Stunning.
Right?
It's unbelievable.
And that's what people come for.
I actually had a very similar experience. I was driving over the Jamestown Bridge on one of the very few days it was actually nice out recently. And there were, when I tell you, dozens of sailboats. Dozens.
So
like the
pretty.
pretty colorful ones that looked like they were part of like some sort, it could have been an America's Cup kind of something.
Yeah.
There were so many. And I was just driving and I happened to glance over and I was like, this is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I like to do is because we host conferences, sometimes I'll be like walking around the city and I like to look at the people because they always have their badges on.
Oh, yeah.
And see where they're going to eat and what they're looking at. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm compelled sometimes, like I don't do it, but I want to be like, oh, no, you want to go down there and have like a really good espresso martini.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't.
Do you have favorite places that you recommend to people?
I do.
A couple of them if you.
I do. Well, it depends on what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you always have to send them somewhere Italian.
What we do with like, say a reporter's coming in.
Yeah.
We'll plan out their itinerary, but we ask them a lot of questions first. So
smart.
Like if you want Italian and you're on a budget, we'll send you to Angelo's. If you want Italian and you're a food writer, we probably are going to send you to Baccaro or Al Forno. So it just really depends on kind of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Same thing with hotels. If you're writing about a family, I'm going to send you somewhere that has a suite because it has a kitchenette and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what people want, and then we kind of. But we do. We all have our favorites.
You have
Our
your favorites,
go-tos.
of course. What was your journey getting to your position now? Because one thing we've learned about like the viewers that watch, they love the stories behind people, and you have such an unbelievable position. How did you get here?
So I actually went to college to do PR. And journalism, print journalism. I was a print journalism.
I could see Kristen as a journalist.
Yeah. Well, it comes in handy now because I'll write something and I'll submit it, and they're like, "This is perfect," and I'm like, "Well, I did it," and I did. I still have done a little bit of magazine writing, but and then I wanted to be a political press secretary, like Dee Dee.
I could totally see
that, right?
now.
Like, remember
totally
Clinton had Dee Dee Myers?
Yes.
And I just thought she was the coolest. I'm like, I'm doing that, and then I didn't love it because you know what? All you get is a lot of people calling you. I pay your salary, and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I got into higher ed because I worked in college as an intern in the PR office.
Okay.
And so I worked at Salve briefly, and then worked for Johnson & Wales, and got into food and beverage from that.
Okay.
And then I worked briefly for an agency, and then when it was the director of communications job at the CVB. And I was like, oh my God, I'm perfect for this. I was born in Providence. I live in Warwick. I grew up in Warwick.
Yep.
I know a lot about the industry. And so they hired me, and I worked my way up from that to the VP of marketing. And I've been the CEO for about 6 years. I started about 6 months before the pandemic hit.
I was going to say it flew by in some ways because 6 years because of the pandemic, and then other ways I feel like you probably feel like it was slow motion.
I do. So I feel like those 2 years of the 2.5 years of the pandemic, like everything froze, and it was about survival. And so
I remember when you were in it and everything you were doing, and I just remember thinking, I don't know how she's doing
there was a little band of us, and I went from 25 people at the time to 7 in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Right at the beginning of this.
And these are all my friends, right? Because I had just gotten promoted, so I had to lay off all my friends. So it was hard. And then, you're dealing with an industry that completely shut down.
Right.
And that's very emotional.
Yeah.
And, we were working every single day, Dale Venturini and her team from the Hospitality Association and I, every single day with elected officials and different people trying to keep everything afloat. So you didn't do any actual work for planning the future.
Yeah, it was all putting out fires.
Right. And then the next year was building back, getting grants and rehiring your staff and all of that stuff. So I feel like in some ways I've only been doing the job for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you most proud of?
That's a really good question. I think probably I'm a good boss. I try to be respectful to my team. I feel like people are happy. No one ever quits.
That's
a telltale sign.
Technically we had someone quit today, but she is going on to it. But for the most part, people don't leave. And then we have 5 people that we call the boomerangs. They left and came back.
Yeah.
So, and I think we have a really good team dynamic. And then the other thing would probably be I am a foodie at heart. And I had all that background at Johnson & Wales, and I've spent 20 years building Providence into a food city.
Right.
And so how excited was I that the best chef in the Northeast last night at the Beards is from Providence.
That is so cool. I thought that was amazing.
So, with Restaurant Weeks and then the Culinary Festival and all the work we've done in between, Providence is really on the map. So I'm really proud of my piece in that. I mean, you can't
absolutely.
You can't do it without having amazing chefs and Johnson & Wales and all of that. But I'm happy about what we've done.
Yeah. What does it feel like to know that so many ins and outs of really the restaurants and even local businesses and boutiques?
So
what does it feel like?
It's kind of funny because it's like a double-edged sword, right? When you go out to dinner on your own, you don't know where to go.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to see me. And there's this weird thing because if you tell them you're there, they might try to do something like send you a drink or pick up an app, and I don't want them to feel obligated.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, right, I want them to know I love their business and I'm personally supporting it.
Yeah.
So I usually try to do a social media post.
Yeah.
You are really good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want them to give me anything. That's not, what
you're not asking
but I want them to know that I've been there. So I did pull a string though today because USA Rugby is in next week.
Oh, wow.
I know, at the stadium, and so I asked my sports guy if I could have 2 tickets to rugby, and he's
there
like,
you
I think we
go.
could do
He's
that.
she never asked for anything.
Yeah, I don't.
Of course.
I don't. I didn't go to March Madness. I didn't go to Army Navy. Because I feel like
people
those are tickets people could sell.
Right.
Yeah.
But I scammed a couple of rugby tickets.
I love it. I love it. And a big summer coming up. Obviously, Water Fire's back. Lots of stuff going on locally.
Water Fire is back. It's not as you'll see. There's nothing in June. They're having some tough times, and we're working with them to try to shore up Water Fire, so it will definitely live to see. Another day, but we have 6, and we have what to watch for in August, the film festival. So the Rhode Island Film Festival has always been good. This year it's going to be great.
Oh, that's great to know.
I think there's going to be some celebrities. There's some Hollywood people coming in. There's some New York agents coming in. So it is going to be unbelievable.
Jot that down, Audrey.
I'm remembering this right now.
Yeah, you got to walk around and try to get your get noticed.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be a good one. Restaurant Week's in the middle of
I'm excited
July.
for Restaurant Week.
Yeah, it's always and Gift Horse, which just won last night, is going to be a part of Restaurant
Week.
Good. So
Exciting.
that's fabulous. And then we've got a busy summer and fall. One thing we're doing in fall that's kind of cool is we are partnering with Commerce, and we're hosting the Society of American Travel Writers.
Oh, that's exciting.
The East Coast chapter.
Wow.
So we'll have 50 travel writers.
That's really exciting.
At the beginning.
What an opportunity, too, for just our businesses here.
Yeah, so we're working really hard to plan their itinerary and then give them free time to explore. And we're actually working with, after the trip to Providence, we're working with Newport and South County. And they can go down and see that too.
That would be so fun.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining
anytime.
us today. We love having you. You're such a go-to resource for us too.
Well, you guys
really
are the
are.
best.
You really
all
are.
that you do, and always fun to catch up. And make sure to be on the lookout for all those fun things that Kristen talked about this summer. And stay with us because we're going to talk about more right after the break. Well, talking about great things in Providence, this is one of my favorite new places in Providence.
Yes.
Track 15 recently opened, and Joe Zito, our friend, the
Love
TV
Joe
Vader
Zito.
G, he recently went there for a visit. So I thought, let's check it out,
with him.
This ultra-stylish food hall, opened last March by Marcella Development, has been great. And I say, all aboard, right here at Track 15 in the heart of our capital city. The name signifies the most recent track addition to the original 14 railway tracks that once existed in the Central Terminal building dating back to 1898. 7 eclectic restaurants, a great bar, a cashless ordering system which texts you when your food is ready, seating for 300 and al fresco soon. In Verona, Christopher Marcella, a dream 5 years in the making, is now a reality.
A variety of chefs under one roof. What we chose to do was keep it hyper-local. We knew we wanted to do something like that here in the center of downtown because there really wasn't one place that you could come to see different culinary talents from across the state.
Delicious Italian at Giusto Providence and Mother Pizzeria. Indian delights from Little Chaska. Authentic Mexican at Dolores. Good old burgers, fries, and more from There. Fresh seafood and raw bar from Dune Brothers. And unique Turkish dishes from Tolia.
Knowing the history of the building, having been involved at Union Station for my family, been involved 40 plus years. So, you know, it was sort of coming home again and reimagining this space around these chefs. I can't think of an easier location to come off the highway and have 2 parking locations, both underneath the Courtyard Marriott Hotel and a surface parking lot here at Union Station. It's over 500 parking spaces right at the front door.
Track 15 is open daily at 11 a.m. For full info, visit track15ri.com and check the fact page for validated parking discounts.
I'm laughing because during the entire package, my stomach was
growling
so loudly. Like, it's never been that
It
loud.
could tell. It could tell.
It literally was like, you want Track 15.
It saw good food. It had to.
That place is fantastic. We've been there a couple of times.
I love it.
We've invited people to lunch there with us for meetings. I love it.
Well, like Chris said too, I mean, you have all these amazing chefs under one roof. So when you're going with a group of people, which we've found, like everybody can get whatever they want.
Yeah.
But you come together and you dine, and it's just like a really cool vibe in Providence. It's like casual, but it's really got like a cool vibe. I was just say upscale, but also you have like the history behind it too that you really love. So Chris just did an exceptional job.
Absolutely amazing. And the food, every time I talk about it, I have to say, like, it's not like average food. Like, these really are top-notch chefs and restaurants within our state that already have, except for Tolia, they all already have their own freestanding restaurants that are already so well known,
very successful,
so fantastic. I mean, you name any single one of those restaurants that's underneath the Track 15 umbrella, and in their own right are already such an establishment. The food there is fantastic. Like, you cannot go wrong, whether you want just like hummus. I talk about
She got the hummus once. It was so good.
I really like the hummus, but the pizza's amazing.
Pizza, Giusto, I love going to. The pasta, Dolores.
Dune Brothers is huge.
Yeah, the line for Dune Brothers too was pretty long last time. People, I mean, again, there's something for everyone, whatever it is that you want, and it really is just in the bar, easy, accessible, and the parking is so easy too. That's the one thing that you know.
That's why everyone keeps mentioning it when they talk about it, because you think, oh, in the middle of downtown, like, where am I going to park? There's literally a parking lot there, and you validate it right in Track 15 at the kiosk before you leave, and it's done. It's like super easy.
And every time we've gone, we've had spots literally right in front of Track 15.
Yeah,
there's
like
tons
VIP.
of spots.
Like,
you do. I thought I was in the wrong spot.
I pretend I'm VIP when I go there.
You are VIP. You walk in with your growling stomach.
I know. Move. Clear it.
She's coming.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Track 15. I'm going to go get lunch. We will see you next time.